Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Heike and you're watching Stone Cold Coffee Crafts. My little furry assistant is, I think right now, busy chasing her sister. So we are alone for the moment. As I mentioned in my daily crafty chat, I think it was yesterday, I have decided to pull Flosstube forward a little bit because I I'm not entirely sure I'll have the time on Friday to film and edit and upload something. So I thought it would be a better idea to be safe and do it today and have something prepared ready on Friday instead of Flosstube. So that's why we are here on Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, August the 5th. And I believe this is Flosstube 16. I am not entirely sure. So we are going to talk today finished object and whips, plans and haul. I have no new start for this week, but I have indeed a finished object. It is the Baby It's Cold Outside by Heartstring Samplery. I finished this on the last 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. And it went much faster than I thought, to be honest. What did I say? How many hours did I put into this? I think I had 11. I'm not entirely sure anymore. But I didn't even put in half the time, I believe, of the 24 hours into this. This is how quick it went once the big houses were done. So I'm super happy with how this turned out. I really like the look of it. I switched up the fabric from what was originally called for. I believe it is Picture This Plus Ale she originally calls for. And this is... What is this? Is this sand or is this oaken? I think this is oaken. I'm totally not prepared, as you can see. This is going marvelous. No, this is not sand. This has to be oaken. Because I wasn't sure if I liked the color of the ale. I've never seen it with my own eyes, and all the pictures are always very different. So this is always very hard to pick out. I decided to go with this color. I believe it's oaken. It's a little lighter than the ale, and I also decided to stitch this bigger. So I went 28 count and stitched this 2/2. And my third executive decision to make was to get the fabric actually in opalescent, because I like a little bit of bling, especially on anything wintry and Christmas, and I think it's actually looking pretty good, all things considered. I used the recharted edition. Beth Twist charted this little cardinal bird because I've mentioned it many times before, and you've probably seen it. A lot of stitchers just have or are still stitching on this as a stitch along to remember one of our fellow floss tubers we lost, and this was a pattern she originally had a stitch along for, I think was the reason behind that. And Beth Twist was nice enough to chart the cardinal bird for this special occasion, and I decided to go with it. So what else? I also changed one of the colors. I changed out the color of these little trees because they were originally charted in the same green that is used here in the border. And I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a very brown green. It's barely green at all, and I didn't like that for the trees. The original color was the Gentle Art Woodsy Pine, I think it's called, and I decided to go with Classic Colorworks Peapod. I like this much better. It has a very pretty variegation, so I'm happy with this choice. Yeah, so this was my finished object for the month of July. Still have to fully finish that, as always. I'm very bad at fully finishing things, I'm noticing here. when I look at how many I have now lying around waiting to be framed. Whoa, that's the Lola Bomber. Cat, what's up? always have to be careful when 10 pounds of cats come flying in low. It's very dangerous. So I'm kind of bad at finishing stuff. I also still have not finished my Spell Will by Barbara Anna, even though that's not entirely my fault. I just received a few days ago my stuff I ordered from Barbaral to finish that piece, and I just didn't have the time yet. But more on this in a bit in the haul section. Hi Lola. Hello my love. So this is Lola, my little furry assistant, my ragdoll cat. Kitty, move forward a little. Show the people your pretty face. They always get your butt or your belly or your tail, but never your pretty face. Why not? So we have a few whips. I decided at the end of July, because I still had a few days left when my Baby It's Cold Outside was done, I decided to pick up one of the Stitch Mania pieces and work a little more on that. Kitty, meep, 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 meep. So I picked up Yoga Corns again. This is a digital pattern by Little Room in the Attic on Etsy. She does gorgeous, gorgeous patterns. I absolutely adore them when I look at them. I lose most of that adoration the moment I have to do the backstitch, I'll be honest with you. But it's a little bit like people tell me giving birth is. While you're doing it, it's the worst thing ever, and the moment the baby is there, you've forgotten all the pain. It's not quite like that. I still have not forgotten the pain of the backstitch of this unicorn here on the left, but I'll get there at some point and then I can pick it up again. So during Stitch Mania, I finished the middle one here. That was the first I completed, and this is the second one. I just finished that one day before yesterday. And this was really such a pain in the butt to do the backstitch on. The backstitch is so far away from perfect because it's really not doing the backstitch. It's seeing where it's supposed to go, because this backstitch is so detailed and intricate that you really have to be very careful to put your stitches in the correct place. Also, she puts a lot of back stitches in the middle of the crosses, and she even does that for the cry neck. So for the DMC, that's fine, that's easy, but going through the middle of the cry neck and actually hitting the right spot to do so, and sometimes she asks for 2 and 3 strands of backstitch. So sometimes she wants you to go through the cry neck 3 times. So basically, whenever I have to backstitch through the cry neck, it is going to be one thread, because on the one hand you won't see most of it. I mean, look at the horn. It just looks like a giant mess. I tried my best to do the backstitch like she asked for, but it's just plain impossible, and it looks like that afterwards, so I pretty much gave up. I also noticed that I did not put in the couple of white lines of backstitch. I'm not entirely sure if I will, because I tried white backstitch on my World in a Jar piece. I really need to finish that. It's only the backstitch I need to do. I hate it to pieces. There was also white backstitch on that one, and I could never see it. I tried it and I did not see the white lines on anything, so that's why I didn't do it on that one, and I'm really contemplating if I should try it on this one, because I have a feeling you're not going to see that either. That being said, the moment the backstitch is done and you take a step back and look at it, it's totally worth it. It's just something I have to enjoy in small doses. So I have said that before. I don't think I'm going to pick this up before October or so. I need a couple of months of break from this. But I'm going to do my best to pick this up regularly, and every time I pick it up I'm going to finish at least one of the unicorns, because I want to get this done at some point. It is just gorgeous. There are going to be 9 unicorns in total. This is the first pattern. This is Yoga Corns part 2. which is going to be the middle row, and then there is quite obviously a part 1 and also a part 3. And I'm going to stitch all 9 of them on this one piece of fabric, like a big yoga corn sampler basically. I'm stitching this on a 28 count piece of Picture This Plus Haunted Linen. And it is all DMC and a lot of Krynic. I think there are 6 different colors of Krynic in this one. This one here was only using 2 of them, and this one here used 4. And a lot of Krynic backstitch compared to this one. So this was really... But it's looking good. I mean, I can't say it's not looking fantastic. So that's the thing. She does wonderful patterns and I really would love to do them. But every time I stitch on the yoga corns, I just remember why I would probably rather shoot myself instead of stitching all that. The second thing I finally picked up yesterday, and I did not finish yesterday, I had a bit of a slow, lazy day yesterday, is Santa's Trip, the Mystery Christmas Stitch Along by Barbara. She's currently doing this with Creative Poppy. The first part of this was the whole frame and this little box on the left. The second was this one, and the third just dropped on the 1st of August is this little snow globe. So far I've been able to stay on top of this. I will be able to do so for the beginning of August as well. The next little box is going to drop on the 15th. So not too far away. Usually I have this done the day it drops, but yeah, yoga corns got in the way, and yesterday I just didn't feel like sitting down and stitching for hours and hours, so I think I managed quite a bit for the little time I actually dedicated to crafting yesterday. And I really love how this is turning out. You can see that it's very limited in color for such a big piece. I think there are 10 colors in total, but it's really looking fabulous. I have to purchase more of this color here, 501, because I'm nearly out of it, and the next box will have it in the frame. This one has a couple of trees in here in this color, so I have to pick up another skein of that. I'm stitching this on the Called For Color fabric, which is Dirty Linen by Zweigart, but I'm not stitching it on the Called For Count. She charts everything she does on 32 count, but I prefer stitching on either 28 or 36. I don't like 32 too much. I can do it, I don't want to do it. So I decided to go a bit bigger on this one and go with a 28 count because I wanted to replace some of the stitches with beads. So you can see I have done this on these 2 boxes already. I've showed them in my last Flosstube. I replaced the snow in the first, and for the second I just replaced the bells on Rudolph's collar and his nose. And for the snow globe I will once again replace a few stitches that are supposed to be snowflakes in the snow globe. It's not going to be many, but it's only supposed to be a small little touch, and I really enjoy how this is looking. I hope I will find something in every block, because it would look odd if I suddenly stopped replacing for one block. But I think there's going to be something in every single one of them. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. So these are the 2 whips I worked on, and then of course the one finish. 3 projects in the last not quite 2 weeks, which is pretty good for me. You know, I don't stitch on too many things at once. I don't like to switch projects every other day or so. So for August I'm going to finish the little block today, and I have planned to make Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower my focus piece for August. My focus piece is usually the one piece I pick out to stitch on in between all the stitch alongs I'm doing. I try to stay on top of all the stitch-alongs that I'm actually working on. So you have seen I started a couple of few. I have retired already, like the Stitch Your Own Adventure Hogwarts stitch-along and the Peppermint Purple Blackwork stitch-along. I have retired those. Did I start another one that I have not picked up? I don't think so. Those two were two I started and didn't like, and then decided to retire instead of having them linger. So the ones I have started, I'm really trying to stay on top of so far. I have been very successful. I've purchased a few more, but I have not started them, so I'm planning to do them at some point in time, probably when they are already finished. So for August, the stitch-alongs I am expecting to drop are the Barbara Anna in the middle of the month on the 15th. Also on the 15th we will have the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, part 5 for the Chinese Zodiac. And I'm currently caught up with that, so I'm good on that. On the 17th, the first part of the Halloween stitch-along for the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery is going to drop. And this is going to be part of my haul section, but spoiler alert, I have signed up for that one, and I plan to start this right away and keep on top of that too. Let's hope we will manage that. And I think that's it. So 3 patterns in the middle of August. The Chinese Zodiac and the Barbara Anna should be rather quick stitches. So the Barbara Anna usually is not a lot more than one afternoon, evening of stitching, unless I'm feeling lazy like I did yesterday. And the Frosted Pumpkin, it always depends. This month we are going to get 3 more of the little animals, and last time that took me a little over a day. So we should be good pretty quick. And then we'll have to see how big the parts for the Halloween one are. But currently I am thinking 6 days in total maybe, and then I can pick this up again. So after I finish the Barbara Anna one, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to stitch on this until the 15th. Then I'm going to put this on a small break, finish my stitch-alongs, and after that I will pick this up again. That's the current plan. And then I'm going to stitch this until the end of the month and see how far this takes us. So this is a pattern by the Blue Flower, quite obviously. I have started this during Stitch Mania as well. This is how far I came during Stitch Mania, so not super impressive, but it's okay. I'm going to try to complete the border and then go from there. Usually I like stitching borders a lot. I like stitching this border as well, but the border always gives you a bit of a reference point, and I'd like to have this with this piece. I would like to avoid mistakes as much as I can, and I always put mistakes in my patterns for whatever reason. I can never fully stitch them correctly. So I'm using all the called for floss, and I am stitching this on a 40 count piece of linen by XJU Designs on Etsy. This is, I believe, still haven't looked it up, but I believe this is the color Brown Sand. I have looked up what the original color was. It's Shrinking Violet, I think, by Weeks Dye Works. This was the fabric I just couldn't get anywhere, so I basically decided to look something else up that I thought would look good with the threads, and I came up with this one. I love the fabric Juku's dye. As you can see, there is a tiny little bit of modeling in there, but she always has very subtle modeling, so it doesn't take away from the piece you're stitching. And I also like the color. I am currently thinking that all my colors will actually pop on this. I think the litmus test is going to be the white, but we will see. I'm liking this, so let's see how far we can get on this. And also, if you would like to join me, I'm not doing a stitch along for this particular piece, but August is my birthday month, and if you would like to join me for some birthday stitching, pick something up that has a cat. So you probably have a Halloween pattern that has a cat somewhere. So join me in that. Yeah, that's plans for August, and we will check in about 2 weeks and 2 days and see how well that went. That leaves us with haul. And you have guessed it, it's mostly going to be fabric. But first up, I would like to talk about 2 stitch-alongs I have purchased. I'm not entirely sure if I already talked about one of them the last time. I don't think I did. But the first one I have purchased, and it has already started, but I have decided not to stitch it right away. I'm going to stitch it when we are closer to the season. Is the Woodland Creatures Mystery Stitch Along by Fourboysandanlgirl. The first part just dropped. It's looking pretty cute as far as I can tell from what just dropped, because it's really just a tiny bit of pattern. This is not going to be a big piece, so if you like a stitch along but don't want to get too involved with it, this might be the right one for you. And you can still get it on Etsy. And the second one, which is a bit more exciting, is the Dark Queen of the Sea Stitch Along by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's going to start on September 1st, and I really hope I can start it on September 1st. I'm not entirely sure I will be able to. But I've ordered the fabric and the bead pack from Under the Sea Fabric a few weeks ago. I should have probably looked it up, but I hope she's going to ship it out soon, because with the shipping time to Germany, we are already cutting it pretty close for a September 1st start. I have purchased the pattern last week. Yeah, I purchased the fabric and the bead pack first, but the PDF pattern is not going away, so I thought it would make much more sense to invest the money for the fabric and the beads first, because that will actually have physical shipping time, and get the pattern afterwards. So this is going to be, as far as I'm concerned, they of course have not said though yet, but from the graphic you can tell a little bit, and they just released the needle minders to go along with the stitch along. I'm thinking this is going to be a sexy Ursula situation, and I'm totally here for it. It's going to drop in 12 parts over 12 months, and I hope that that means it is small enough part-wise to stay on top of it, because I really would like to do that. So if you have not done so yet, please check it out. I think this is going to be an amazing pattern once it's done. And I've seen they uploaded another episode of Flosstube yesterday, so I can't wait to get into that. I love those two. They are, Aaron and Cassandra are just, they are hilarious. I adore them. So yeah, that's another stitch along I've signed up for. Crazy me. So let's get into physical haul. That's all the PDF haul I have. Let's get into the physical stuff and look at some fabric first, or maybe take a sip of coffee first because my voice is a bit scratchy. Talking too much. First up is my Fortnite Fabrics fabric of the month for the month of June. And I'm not going to try and say that. So this is the neutral. It is still in the 32 count linen. I have now changed to 36 count for August and beyond, but they have some supply issues with the 36 right now, so I have agreed to switch to 40 count for August and September. We'll see. This is the neutral. Neutral is always based on mushrooms, and I'm not going to pronounce that one because I'm going to butcher it. And then we have the Colorful Club, which is based on flowers, and this is the prettiest yellow. I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on this, I'll be honest. I have no freaking clue, but this fabric is so pretty. It doesn't really show on camera like I see it with my own eyes. It's a bit brighter than what you see. But this is just the prettiest yellow. And it is called Tea Rose. So the July fabric is, I think, now shipped. The delays are totally not Derek's and Christian's fault. It's just that getting the Zweigart fabric in is a bit of an issue. You might or might not know that Zweigart is here in Germany. Actually, they are around the corner from me, and shipping stuff into the US right now takes a lot of time. Really takes a lot of time. So, yeah. Next up are a couple of pieces from Crafty Kitten in the UK. And they look very similar. I was surprised how similar they looked. This is the April 2020 limited edition. If I still have the picture she posted on her website, I'm going to put this here, because this looks very different from what I expected from looking at the picture. We're going to open this up. This is a 28 count opalescent linen. And it's pretty, but it's a lot lighter than I expected. I mean, that makes it easier to work with, because maybe you can see that there's yellow, there's blue, there's pink, there's purple. It was basically an Easter rainbow fabric, and I was a bit intrigued, but to be honest, I was a bit worried what to do with it. That makes it easier, but it's not really what I expected when looking at the pictures. I am still waiting for the May fabric, and I did not order June and July. They were pretty, but they were very pink, and I for once have a few pink pieces I got from Fortnite. They did quite a few of them, because there seem to be a lot of pink flowers. And I decided I like them, but I have no idea what to do with them, and I'm not going to order them. I might order August, because this is a grayish lavender pink mixture, so it's a little less hard to work with, I believe. I've just done an inventory of all my fabric. I really need to be a bit more conscientious what I buy. And the other piece of fabric here, which is looking very similar, just minus the yellow, I believe, is Sparkling Diamonds. It is also a 28 count linen. And that one pretty much looks like I expected it to look. So it's very purpley blue with a bit of pink. You can't see on camera very well, but here's a light pink patch. And the pattern I would like to stitch on this is the Rain Queen by Nora Corbett. It's pretty much the colors she has in here. I'm not entirely sure if her wings will show up well. I have to check if this floss actually pops, but if it doesn't, I'm probably going to backstitch them, because I like all the other colors on this. I think the dark magenta and the purple and the turquoise will actually look pretty good on this, but we will see. I don't have the floss for this yet, so I'll have to do a floss toss, but this is currently the plan for this fabric. That's why I got it. Going to pack this away later. And then we have a couple of pieces from Dying to Cross Stitch. This was in the mail for a long time. I don't know what took it so long, but it took ages. Not by her fault, it's the mailing services right now. They are all over the place. These are pieces of fabric I bought from her Facebook group. She usually does fabrics on Sunday. She's not going to do one this Sunday, but next Sunday she should be back. And this is a fabric, usually they don't have names. So this is a fabric she described as golden green. It's pretty much just a light green, but it's very pretty, and I think there will be a memorabilia in the future that will look absolutely fantastic on this. I'm thinking something with a lot of pink maybe to stand out from the green background. Probably one of the flowery ones, because I think they are going to look very good on the green. Well, then it's probably rather going to be a Nora Corbett, and not one that is under the Memorabilia brand, I think. Because all the flower girls she does, she publishes under her own name, I think. We'll see. And this is an experimental one, because I've never had ice-dyed fabric before, though I think that Rolanda does actually a lot of ice dyeing when I look at how her fabrics look. So maybe I'm lying here and I have ice dyed fabrics and plenty of them, but I don't have anything this colorful. So this is a 40 count linen, and I liked how pretty and colorful this was. Actually my friend Jessie got this one, but she was nice enough to step back from it because she managed to get another piece she liked better in a different size, and she stepped back from it, but she told me first so I could second it. So that was nice. I have no idea what I'm going to do on this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stitch something monochromatic in a dark color on this, so that it stands out against this fabric. We'll see. So this was pretty obviously an impulse buy without a fixed plan, unlike the others I've gotten. So this is a hand dyed by Rolanda, and this is one that surprised me a lot. This is a Quaker cloth. Quaker cloth is a 28 count linen mixed with cotton. It makes the linen a little more even, but not as even and as tight as a proper Lugana even weave. I like how this fabric stitches. So I have not really stitched something on it yet, but I've run a needle through, and I like how the needle pulls through, because that's my main beef with even weave. I don't like how the needle and the thread pulls through these very tight holes. So I was a bit surprised by this one because I thought it would be gray. The picture looked totally gray, and this is actually a very light blue. There is some gray in here, but it's not the dominant color like it looked on the picture. And the reason I got this was actually because I thought it would be a good fabric for the Frosty Forest, the way it looked on the picture. So it actually might still be, but there is a lot of blue in the Frosty Forest, and I really would like to stick with gray. But in the meantime, I have actually found, while I did inventory of my fabric, I realized I had a piece of silver lining opalescent linen by Pole Stitches, which was the fabric I was thinking about getting for Frosty Forest. And yeah, I have my fabric for Frosty Forest 2.0. Oh, and I'm sorry, I still haven't... Ooh, I forgot about that. I had a few people comment on my last Flosstube and saying they would like to stitch the Frosty Forest, so I'm going to pick one of you randomly, and I'm going to contact you for your address to ship that to. Please make sure that you have filled out the Happy Mail form for that, so I have your email address to contact you. That would be awesome. I didn't want to make the decision, so I'm going to let random picker or whatever do that for me. And last but not least, I've been talking about this. I ordered some stuff from BarbaralCreations to finish my spell will, and it took a bit to arrive. So what I've ordered, this has a very strong smell this time. Some kind of fabric softener, I believe. My monitor went dark. So I've ordered a few pieces of silk trim. Most of it in 2mm, and this one here is 4mm. I have ordered this lace trim and also the pom-pom. I don't know if I'm going to use all of this. I just wanted to have a bit of a choice. And because I don't like to pay shipping, I decided to order a piece of old witch's cape fabric. And this time it's a linen. I've ordered this before as, was it Ada? I don't know anymore. But I was not entirely happy with how that looked. This looks fantastic. This really looks fantastic. The opalescent is a bit on your nose with these dark fabrics, but I still like it. I think if it wasn't opalescent, this would actually be even a better fabric for the yoga corns than the haunted. I like my haunted, but this probably would be even better. It is this mixture of very dark gray, black, and a tiny bit of bluish undertone. There are actually supposed to be brown rusty patches in here as well, but I don't really see them this time. Maybe here, but on camera it shows up completely black, so I'm probably wrong, but I like it. You can see there's a bit of modeling, and it's very pretty. So that's what I've been waiting for. And she gave me these 2 pumpkins as a little gift, and I think I can incorporate them into the spell finish as well. Just have to get around to it. I thought this would be a quick Flosstube. We are already at 36 minutes. Kitty, would you please stop eating the plastic? And last but not least, I got something on a whim. But I saw this and I honest to God squealed, because one of my favorite artists for stamping was Stacy Yakula. She does these super cute critter I can't find the word. Let's say illustrations. I'm looking for another word, but it's escaping me. And she still is, I think, bringing out stamps with Purple Onion crafts and with oh god, my favorite things. I don't know what's up with my memory at the moment. But I've not been stamping for the last 2 years, and I was so surprised when I went on 123 Stitch and basically browsed at random and came up with this. This is Stacy Yakula. This is so freaking cute. I just love her style. It's so whimsy, and I'm a bit sad because she doesn't do a lot of these. There are not many of her paintings licensed as stitching, but I got this one right away. I'm not going to do that as a Christmas stocking. I have no use and no interest in a Christmas stocking, but I wanted the pattern. This is a full kit. It comes with a pattern. It comes with the Ada, which I already despise. It's super stiff, and yeah, not going to use that one. It comes with a big piece of red felt fabric, I guess to use it for the backside of the stocking, and also with this red wool to make the tassel and stuff. But what I am going to do is I am going to stitch this as just a square piece. I'll have to extend the stitches a tiny little bit on this side here, not much, just a bit, just to let it run out like it does on this side here. You know, it tapers out here, and here it is cut off because that's where the heel of the stocking is supposed to go. So I'm just going to chart a few more of the snow tones and the background half stitch here, and then I'm going to take these little, I think these are bells, I'm going to extend them into a full frame instead of just a border. Probably if there is space, I might replicate some of the snowflakes. I would like to pull them them in. So I might change up the placement of them, because the biggest ones are supposed to go over this border here, and I'm not going to stitch a name or anything on that, so I might pull these two in here and replace, move the snowflakes around a little bit. But that's my current plan for this one. And I'm of course not stitching this on horrible stiff Ada. You are not going to eat the silk. It's not like I don't see what you're doing, cat. Yeah, so this was a total useless impulse buy, but if you see your favorite artist and you realize she's doing something for the current craft you do, I guess the buy now finger is very trigger happy. So, alright, this is all I have right now. I have to save my goodies now from this little monster there. I don't know since when she decided silk was yummy, but obviously she has. Yeah, I know, you're not a monster. This is it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow I will have my What's in Your Stash Part 2 with more diamond paintings from Diamond Art Club. And on Friday I plan to upload a diamond painting final review. So if you're interested in that, come back and have a look at that. Bye, guys.